So to start off today's video, it's going to be on the Qs and well, just for this intro, basically. So pretty much going over some market sentiment here. Um, if you move to the daily chart on QQQ, you can see it's in a pretty nice rising wedge. And so as these points get closer, this will trade tighter and then eventually break out or down. Because this is a rising wedge, it is more than likely to break down. Um, you can see it's, as of today, it's just peaking out above this, which it actually did on low volume. And so let me switch over to the weekly. And you can see on the weekly chart down here, let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you. So on the weekly chart down here, you can see this has extremely low volume. So the last time it was this low was November 2020 and February 2019. So it really hasn't been this low in a while. And every time that you're getting a breakout on low volume, it's really not very likely to stay at those levels. So I would say be careful, but I can pull up the seasonality chart here and show you that we've had a pretty good June so far, and only 50% of the time over the last 10 year or 11 years, the QQQ is positive. So there's a good chance that the rest of June is negative. Moving into July, we're going to be very bullish. So, and then August and September are more than likely going to be bearish. So what I think happens is we finish this week, maybe moving down a little bit, pulling back down to the 340s, and then in July, we might at first kind of work our way down to this bottom channel and then break back up, finish July strong, and then the following weeks move downwards. So I do think that as long as we stay in this channel, we're going to be bullish for the next 6 weeks. And then following that, I think that we do kind of start to see some previous lows. So overall, I think we're in a solid spot for the short time being. But I would don't enter too many swings that are long dated, and that just my opinion. So coming up next, I'll bring up PLTR, and I will move this to the daily chart. So what I really like about this is here. Let me close this here. What I really like about this chart is it's respecting the fibs really well. It's resting on this here. So I do have these pulled a little bit conservatively, and I have them on this previous high instead of this one up here. There's just a little bit more price action going on in here, so let's use that. And you can see here it's resting on top of these fibs now. We just have this resistance to break, which is at 25.61. And if we can break above this, we should continue to push higher, and I will turn on the heat map. The heat map will show me areas that have a lot of resistance or a lot of free range, pretty much. So, actually my log scale has to be off for this to work. So let's see if we can get this to load now. And all right, I'll turn it back on. And so what this is showing us is all of the red is resistance. But what this is showing us is now we have clear movement all the way up. There's nothing blocking. This is a very rare find. You hardly ever kind of see these charts with the heat map. There's usually a lot of resistance. So let me bring my indicators back on. And you can see here, once it moves out of this range, there's really nothing on the volume profile stopping it. So the only thing that could stop this is it gets up, it gets to $35 and then people start to short it. But aside from that, this has no reason to stop once it really starts to move up. So I am bullish on PLTR. I really like it at these levels. And the heat map was just some extra confluence. So for the next stock, we're going to be talking about NEO. I'm going to swap over to the monthly, and I will turn on the log, and I will turn on the raindrops. So first of all, what I really like about this chart is we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 would literally be off of my charts. So this is exactly what I had on the NVIDIA chart, which, I believe this wave 4 was at like 680 and it went up to 770 for the wave 5. So that was spot on. And so this seems to be in a very similar pattern, the Elliott wave. And if you notice down here, so these raindrops give you a VWAP for each candle. And they're I'm not going to get into it, but they're extremely useful with trading for spotting breakouts and potential moves. So they're all the normal colors of a stock and then or of a candlestick, but then you have these lime green ones. So what the lime green ones do is they signify the entire candle has been traded at the same price, which is indecision in the market. Like they don't know if the stock's going to go lower, if it's going to go higher. Everybody's trading right at the same price. As soon as sellers are selling, the buyers are buying. And so what happens is almost like it's got to be 80% of the time that you see these candles, a large move happens after. So this green candle was printed, it immediately moved up. Now we just had another one print right here. So what you can do is treat this as a breakout now. This, according to the raindrop candle, this is a very solid breakout and it shouldn't be falling lower. So let's swap over. This looks like a very, I'm going to enter this tomorrow, honestly, or maybe Friday, but this is a solid chart. And I think for a monthly, this is incredible. So, I really think this is going to be the next wave that takes us to all-time highs. We're going to be going up to, we're going to be breaking the 67 area, and I have every reason to believe that we're going to be headed on to 100 from here. So definitely pay attention to NEO this month, the rest of this month, and July. I think these are going to be the next few weeks are going to be the ones that kind of tell us. So the next one is going to be Facebook. And so on Facebook, you'll notice I have these 3 lines. Now, why do I have these 3 lines printed on my chart? Well, if you turn on let me get rid of indicators. If you turn on the events, you see these little sell signals. So what I did actually was, this usually will be giant blocks of buys or sells, and it's all the analyst ratings. And out of all of these buys, there's only one sell, and it's HSBC. So I filtered it to only show theirs. And as you can see, every single time that they tell you to sell Facebook, it runs. So from here, it went from $200 up to $221. They told you to sell right here, it went from $250 up to $307. And then they just told us to sell again. And so I think now this might be the start of a larger run. So we're at, they told us to sell at 330 area. And now I think we're kind of breaking out of this area. 350 is going to be a little bit tough to break over just because it is a mental number. But I think that we're going to go on like a pretty significant bull run. Based on that alone, we have very solid, we have solid indicators going on with this analyst. I don't know what they're looking at, but they're looking at it the wrong way clearly. So whatever they're spotting, they're seeing it again, and it's probably going to shoot. It's probably going to cause Facebook to shoot up again because it's currently breaking out of the range it's in. It's bullish. Like I said with the Qs, the next couple weeks might be bearish, but after that, I think July is going to be a very strong week or a very strong month for tech. So I'm more than happy to enter these, probably go with some long dated like September or October calls for Facebook. But I'm going to try this theory out. I really like the idea of following the analyst ratings for kind of the wrong reasons. These people are clearly wrong about it. So I'll follow up with this later and just kind of let you guys know how it works, because this could be an interesting way of spotting potential trades.